Hey there guys, how's it going? In today's video, as you can see on the to-do list, we are going to be building a drilling rig today to collect a bunch of stone and ice to be refined into different materials and hydrogen for the ice for the big ship that I actually spent most of the day yesterday building. So yeah, that's kind of the plan for right now. And I actually, like I said, I did build the big ship and I am planning to show you guys at the end of today's video. So stay tuned for that. But right now we are going to be working on building a drilling rig. And as far as off-camera work, I actually did do a bit of off-camera mining. As you can see here with all the materials that I've collected. Like you see here, I collected 1,000 or 100,000 iron, almost 100,000 silicone, and a bunch of magnesium for the ammunition that we're going to have on the big ship. I did put a few guns on there. And so that's kind of the plan for right now. And so what I was thinking with the drilling rig, thank you for suggesting that in the comments, by the way. I think a drilling rig would be very helpful. And so what I was thinking is it would be attached right here to the hydrogen tank, and it would just kind of fly out, not fly, it would be kind of come out this way and go down into here, drilling through some ice and eventually getting to stone there. And so yeah, that's kind of the plan. And I was actually planning on putting it on a rotor to make it spin in a circle to collect that much more. So that's kind of the plan for right now. And yeah, so you know what, let's get some materials and start building this. So if we go into here and get some, I think it's steel plates, or what do you take? You take interior. So just make some interior plates. Also guys, off camera, I did build up a couple speed modules and a yield module for the assembler and refinery just to make things go a bit faster. Anyway, here are the interior plates. So what I was thinking is it would go up maybe a couple blocks like that, and then I would just take you and you would come out like that, and then I would just continue this out. Whoops. Continue this out for a little bit here. Alright guys, I think that'll be far enough here for what we're doing. That is pretty far, I will say. But I think it'll be fine. And so the plan is we would then take, I would say maybe like, I was thinking at least 2 pistons, maybe 3. So we can push it down. Push down the drill rig, that is. We go into here and grab some steel plates here. I can show you what I want to do. So if we just go to here, place down a couple pistons, just like that. And then that's still kind of high up, but then we also have to place drills, so maybe that'll be fine. Even that needs to be... Oh, you know what? Even a better idea, maybe we can put a piston right here and extend it upwards. That's actually a better idea. At least I think it's a better idea. So I'll cut back to when I have everything organized. Alright guys, so this is kind of like what I am thinking here with the design of the drilling rig here. So this would be fully extended upwards, having enough room for the drill at the bottom there with the rotor head. And so then what I was thinking, as the drills are drilling in a circle, that piston there would be going down super slowly, and then once that's down, I was thinking one or even both of those pistons could extend down, kind of making the hole deeper. That's what I was thinking anyway, but I think what we need to do first is construct this piston and lift everything up. And yeah, so I'll come back to you when I am finished constructing this piston. Alright guys, just finished the piston here, and so what we can do here actually is if we just go to here and reverse that so it'll extend upwards, we now have more room here to place a drill, or a few drills. And yeah, so like I said before, the plan is that would go down slowly, and as the drills are drilling in a circle, it would just go down slowly, making a nice hole there. And I think the next step here would be to construct all of this here, which is going to be a lot of materials. Alright guys, so here's the plan. I am going to get back to you when I am done constructing all of this, and then I'll lay out the drills and then I'll construct that. So that's kind of the plan. So I'll cut back to you when I am done constructing the conveyors and the two pistons and rotor there. Alright guys, just finished building that up. And as you can see here, it actually looks pretty good. And now one worry I did have while building this was if this cargo container would be able to hold everything. And I think it will be able to hold everything. I mean, it has like, what is this? Almost 230 or 220,000 materials in it already, plus all the extra stuff. And it's not even a quarter of what the storage container can hold. So I'm pretty confident that that one will be able to hold everything. But honestly, worst case, you just build another one. I think that isn't too big a problem, but right now, we are going to actually, if we go back into this cargo container and just grab up these, I think it's time we get to the drill part of it and build up the drills here. And so I wanted to explain how this was going to work here. So the way this is going to work is we're just going to have drills along here, all connected together, right? So it's just all connected, goes through into there and into the base. So that's kind of like how it's going to work here. And how big it's going to be, I want it to be pretty big actually. Bigger it is, the more materials we'll get, which is better. Alright, and I did watch a tutorial video about like inertia tensor and whatever, and so I think what I'm going to do is just share inertia tensor with everything here. I'm just going to share inertia tensor everything on these pistons along with the rotor right there. So I think that'll be good. Like, it's not going to be shaking or anything when I turn it on now. And yeah, I think that's pretty good. So now we just have to construct all of those, which is going to take a bit of time. Well, it's going to take actually less time now since I have the speed module on the refinery and assembler. I might build a second one just to make it go a bit faster. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. And yeah, so that's kind of the plan. So I'm going to cut back to when I am done building the drills, or if anything significant happens. Alright guys, just finished up building the drills here, and as you can see, it actually looks like it's going to make a really big hole in the ground, which is good. That's a lot of materials we're going to need. Another thing too is it's shaking a lot, or not a lot, but a little bit there, if you can see that. I did share inertia tensors with everything except the rotor, because the rotor seemed to make it worse when I turned on inertia tensor. But yeah, I think that looks pretty good here, and so now all that's left is just to kind of like configure it a little bit. So if I go to the rotor and go to here, and it has velocity here, and I think the velocity should be something super small. Something like that, so it's spinning just a little bit, and so that's gonna go down super slowly as well as this is drilling. So I think that's good enough. Let's see if we can get it maybe just a hint slower. It seems like it's about as good as it's gonna get, which should be fine. Alright, so if we go to this piston here, because this piston's gonna be the first one to drop. So if we go to here, so right now, its velocity is at 0.5. Let's make that 0.1. 0.1. We're going to make it 0.1. And actually, you know what we're going to do? We're going to drop it a little bit, and then let it drill out. So I think that's what we're going to do, actually. I think that's a better plan, because if you just let it drop, I think it's going to get stuck. So we're going to drop it a little bit. We're going to let it do its thing, and then drop it more, and then let it do its thing. Drop it more, let it do its thing. I feel like that's a better plan. So if we go to here, actually, if we wanted to do that maximum distance, we're going to make the maximum distance. Or is this minimum distance? I guess it would be. I think it's minimum distance here, so I set it to 8. I think it's minimum distance, or maybe it's maximum distance. I'll set that to 8 too. Whichever one will work there. Alright, so now actually, if we want to test this, we can actually go to here and go to drills. And that was helpful. I forgot to name them. Alright, you know what? I'll cut back to when I have everything labeled. Alright guys, so I just finished labeling the base drills here. So if we go to drills, we see here base drills, so we can just turn that on and all the drills should turn on there. And so now if we lower this down, this piston down, so I only want it to go down to 8 meters, so let's see if that'll work out correctly. Anyway, so you can kind of see here the plan I was going for. Like I drop it down a little bit, let it drill, and then I drop it down more and let it drill. So let's see if it actually works here. Looks like we need to drop it down a little bit more. So if we go to here, I think it's minimum distance. It is minimum distance. So let's drop it down to 6 meters, see what happens. We should start making contact here any minute now. Here we go, making contact. And it seems to be working pretty well here. It's drilling out, nice little hole here. Although it's not really doing much. Let's drop it a little bit more here. So we're going to drop it to 4 meters and see what that does. It looks like all the drills are drilling out now, which is good. If we go into the cargo container here, actually, we should see... There you go, a lot of stone, a lot of ice being collected, which is good. Now, the reason why I'm collecting a lot of stone rather than going out and finding a bunch of iron veins, for example, is because collecting a bunch of stone is better than collecting the individual resources, because with stone you get the iron, the nickel, the silicone, like all of that from the stone. Granted, you don't get a lot of it, but if you get a ton of stone like what I'm doing here, I think that should work the way I think it's gonna work. And so that's kind of like my thought process with building this. And also we're collecting a ton of ice for the hydrogen tanks as well, for the big ship. So as you can see here, oh, it's starting to fill up really fast. Ooh, are we gonna need another one? We might need another one. But here you go. Nice little... It's kind of shallow now. It's gonna get really deep later on though. I think we're gonna need another cargo container. If you go, and this is only for the regular assembler, but if you go into here and type in, say, we want a large industrial cargo container, you can put it in there and it'll make the materials for you, which I find really handy. It's kind of like Build Planner, and I did learn how to use Build Planner, but I'm more familiar with this from my past playthrough because I discovered this in my past playthrough. So I'm just going to continue using that. Anyway, but if we go to here and build out another one of these, but I'll cut back to when that is done being welded. Alright there guys, just finished constructing the large cargo container there. So now we have way more storage here and I don't have to worry about losing on material. So if we just go to here and lower it a bit more, just like that. And I don't know, I guess we wait here until it's done doing its thing or until we just run out of storage. So I'll come back to you when we either run out of storage or we can't drill anymore. Or even better guys, how about this? How about I make like a nice time lapse of me drilling out the hole here? Because I think that'll actually be kind of a cool time lapse to see the hole being slowly drilled out. So you know what? I'm going to do that instead. I'm going to make a time lapse of this. So yeah, enjoy this time lapse. Alright guys, so I just checked on the cargo container. It actually looks like we're full now and I don't want to waste any more stone. So we're just going to go into here, go to base drills and just turn them off. So it seems like we have enough stone to last us a while. Here we have almost 2 full cargo containers full of stone and ice. Yeah, so we're going to use up a lot of this in the next couple episodes when we build the giant ship that I made. I am going to leak it at the end of the video, guys. But for right now, actually, we're going to keep mining. But in order to do that, we are going to have to build another, these guys right here, just on top like that. So I think that's the plan. We're just going to actually build out a couple of them. Build out 2 more there, build them on top of each other, kind of make like a nice tower there, and drill up some more materials. So I think that's kind of the plan for right now, and I'll cut back to when I have it all constructed. Alright guys, just finished making the cargo containers here, and actually, to my surprise, the third one I made here is actually already full. Anyway, I still do have this whole one up here that is empty. So I think we should be able to collect more. So if we just go to here and turn on drills, we can just go to here, turn them on, go to this piston and lower it down slightly to 4 meters. I think should be good. And you know what, guys, I'm actually gonna cut back to when all the storage containers are full. So yeah, I'll see you when they're full. Alright guys, it's been a while now, and I've been drilling for a while now, like I said. And we went pretty deep here. I think we went another 4 meters deep. So if we go into the cargo containers here, filled up the first one all full, and the second one is about half full. And I also did add 3 speed modules to the refinery to refine the stone that much quicker and to get it all out of the system for us to drill more. And I think this is a success here. I think the drilling rig is a big success, right? So that's a lot of stone we collected. I think we can comfortably turn off the drill here and say we have enough stone to last us a while here. So if we just go to drills, turn that off. Alright, and I think we're refining it all now too. So, alright, and so I think this is the end of the video here. Before I leave though, I did promise I would show you the ship, and I am going to show you the ship. So if I just go into the control panel here. Alright guys, just spawned in the ship that I made the other day. You can kind of see it poking out the corner of the screen there. So if I get out here, turn around, and there you go. Here it is. It's not the best looking ship. I kind of painted it like a really faded red and kind of like rusted, or not rusted, kind of like worn out color or texture or whatever you call it. And you know what? All things considered, I think it looks great. So I in total have 4 Gatling turrets and 2 assault turrets here. So I have 2 assault turrets, 1 on top, 1 on the bottom, and then same thing with the Gatling turrets, 2 on top, 2 on bottom here, to provide sufficient firepower for attack. Going in here, we have a front hangar in the front here. It is not attached to the bridge though. I couldn't figure out a good way to connect it, so in order to get to the bridge, you have to fly out and through the side door. Anyways, so actually I did build a separate ship for this too, because you could fit that in there, but the connector in there won't be able to connect the small shuttle. So what I did is I actually built this. It's kind of like a mining ship that can double as like an exploratory ship in both an atmosphere and in zero-G. You see here it has enough thrust for it to be in an atmosphere and in zero-G. And so that's the ship that I'm going to take with me. From there though, if we go inside and kind of clip through here, I added an assembler here with 3 speed modules, a refinery with 3 yield modules, and a speed module, if you can kind of see that there. I also added 3 large cargo containers here, and going into the back, as you can see here, we have 3 H2O2 generators. Anyway, as I was saying, We have 3 H2O2 generators. We have 2 hydrogen engines to provide a bit of extra power if the nuclear reactor here can't provide it. Or it can be used as a backup power source if we do not have any uranium. I also, in this corner, have 2 batteries in case we don't have any hydrogen for the hydrogen engines, or if we cannot run the hydrogen engines. We also have a few gyros hanging out back here, as well as a gravity generator there. And if we head to the back here, we have a jump drive in the back here. And honestly, this is the best place I could think to put it. And if we go into the kind of living area, we have a bed here in the corner along with a control panel, the med bay, a kitchen, and the control panel where I'll be driving this thing, as well as a small cargo container to just kind of store things if you need them and to access everything in the ship if needed. I also have an air vent here because this is all totally pressurizable. And as far as the actual like thrusters go, what I did is I built them off the side of the ship in kind of like their own pods. So in each of these there are 2 hydrogen engines coming off the main ship here through a conveyor to feed the hydrogen. And it has these 2 big thrusters for the forwards and backwards, and it has a lot of down thrust here for launching up in an atmosphere in 0G or whatever, and sufficient thrust in all other directions to get us around. It also has an ore detector for detecting ores and asteroids if needed, and it also has an antenna here for antenna reasons. Also, the name of this ship, in all of my geniusness, I decided to call it the USS Enterprise. And if you're not a Star Trek fan, I would highly suggest you go watch The Next Generation so you can get that reference. Anyway, so that is the ship. If you have any feedback, things to improve on it, please let me know. Yeah, so that's kind of the end of the video. And in the next video, I hope to actually start constructing this a little bit here. That's kind of the plan for next episode. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this episode, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.